All right, so goals for today. What I would like to do is give you an overview of video creation in Canva. Now, we have 30 minutes, and we're going to try to make a minute-long video in those 30 minutes. So elements of this are going to be broad, but we're going to do a deeper dive on, some parts of building out a video. And hopefully at the end of this, what you guys, will be able to do is apply what you've learned and make your own videos and use your own creativity to, put in place what you want to convey. I am also giving you guys an invitation to share the video template that I'm going to create tonight. So if you guys email me, afterwards, and you want to be linked to the, Canva file creation, you're welcome to this template. What we're going to be building is an invitation to visit a club. And I actually asked Marshall Butler to do a quick intro video inviting people to visit his club in West Jacksonville. So that's going to be, basically the framework for what we're going to do tonight. And the way we're organizing it is in 3 chapters. Chapter 1 is going to be storyboarding and creating and collecting your assets. And of course, when I talk about your assets, those are just the elements that we're going to add to the video, which, some of those are going to be in Canva. Some we may have to bring in outside of Canva. All right, so now let's try this first piece of technological terror to see if it works right. I'm going to shift you over to my Canvas screen. Okay, yay, I think it worked. So everybody should see the basically the home screen for Canva. And of course, before we start any project, what we're going to have to do is to create a design. And we are going to, in this case, be creating a video. And the aspect ratio for the video that we're creating is just going to be your normal widescreen. Now, you can choose to create your video in a format that would work better on social media. So if your intent was to create a video for Instagram, you would have, of course, changed the format a bit. All right. And so you see that what it has initially done is give you a very, very small video. 5 seconds, okay, which isn't going to be very useful. Now, from here, you can expand the time in the video if you want, but we're not going to really worry too much about that, right this second. So what I like to do is on any of this, I like to storyboard the video. And what I mean by that is I'm very visual, so I need to have in front of me basically a layout of what that video is going to look like. And at this point, it's okay if that layout is very general and broad. All right, so I'm going to click you over to the storyboard portion. So when I was storyboarding this particular idea, I know I wanted to start it with the little video that Marshall created. Okay, so that's going to be my first element. And the way I storyboarded, guys, just so I don't leave out any steps, anytime you can add pages to your video. All right. And you, of course, can delete pages from your video if you need to by clicking on those little dots right there. That gives you a lot more options. So I just added a few pages, and then using a text box, I added a text box, which just threw that on there. And then I just made some notes. All right. And so the notes that I made for this particular video is that I know I need a voiceover. I'm going to want some narration to go along with the video. I'm also going to want to add some music in. I think I decided that a little bit later, so I don't have a note on that, but I'm going to add some music in. I want some clips of the club in action. I want some meeting detail, where do you go for the meeting? And I wanted some overlays of some, cool elements of the club. And, again, at this point, this is extremely broad. So I am just, kind of feeling out what I want the video to look like. And you'll notice that while I'm storyboarding, I've created the video. I'm building out my little segments here. and I'm making notes on those segments. And right now, I'm not really concerned about the length of the video. I don't need it to be at 60 seconds or anything like that because I don't know the timing of the elements that I'm going to pull into it yet. All right, so at this point, I'm going to have to start getting some elements, right? And I mentioned before that Marshall created that little video. So he sent that to me. I put it on my machine and I need to get that into Canva. Canva makes that actually super easy for you to bring in your own elements. So if you notice on this sidebar, there's uploads. You click on uploads, and there's a couple of ways to handle it. I'm sure you guys are all really, really organized. There's not a bunch of stuff on your desktops or anything like that. You can find all your files. So when you click on upload files, you're going to get a directory, and I have a lights Canva assets directory, and I have 3 things in there. So I am going to highlight those 3 things, and I'm going to click open. And then it's going to bring those elements. And you can see I've done it already once, but I just wanted to walk you guys through it. It's going to bring those elements over into Canva. Another thing that works in Canva, and depending on what operating system you're using, you can also drag and drop. So if you select a file, you can oftentimes just drag it over into the uploads and it'll put it up there. And then another cool thing that you can do, sometimes you can drag directly onto a slide, as I did there. It doesn't work all the time. It really depends on the element that you're trying to bring in, but a lot of times it will, drag right on there. So those are some, things to kind of remember as you're bringing in, those elements. And we also have a creativity piece here. All right. So on this, I've identified that I want a voiceover. I want to bring in some music. And of course, we mentioned that we're going to have some different video elements. So one of the first things that I did, and I'm not going to, walk you through this whole thing, but I wrote the script for, what I wanted the narration to read. And rather than read that myself, because a lot of times if you're, recording on, less than professional equipment, you're going to get a lot of static. You're going to get background noises. Well, with AI voice generation, you don't really have to worry about any of that. So you can end up with, really, really good quality audio. So that's what I did. I wrote a script and I put it into an AI voiceover tool. And in the last couple of minutes of this particular segment, I want to highlight a couple of the things that you'll find actually within the Canva suite. And I do want to point out here, guys, that I am using Canva Pro for this. The basic Canva account, while extremely useful, is not necessarily going to have all of these tools. But the Canva Pro account has a ton. And also I want to point out that some of the tools are behind paywalls. So, kind of keep that in mind. And one of them in particular, if you're looking at the apps, I was talking about voiceovers, right? So AI voiceover, you can pull that up and you see a handful of apps that are working in Canva that you can click on to do voiceover work. Now, these are all behind paywalls. They offer you, a small amount of content that you can get for free, but you would have to pay extra. I use a different app for my voiceover stuff, my AI voiceover stuff. So I actually imported. So if you go into my uploads in audio, you will see the audio file that I imported for this particular narration, which you should maybe hear. I'm not getting it.
Dynamic speakers include Jacob Gordon.
All right, so that's the voiceover. I also brought in a music element. Now, there are a ton of music elements that you can find from within Canva. One of the things, if you go into elements, is a great place to search. So one of the searches I did was upbeat music, and it gives you a couple of pretty cool examples that you could probably use. Here's one example. Well, that's a little loud. Maybe this one. Well, maybe not that one either. But there are tons that that you would find useful. if you see all, I mean, you'll see so many that you can get to. They also have an AI music app within Canva that you can put some prompts in, and it will generate music for you, which is pretty exciting. And that's actually what I ended up doing on another another AI music app. I had it generate, so there's no rights problems or anything like that because I was able to generate those through AI.